Hello and welcome to Skills to Pay the Bills. I'm your host, Tia Young, and today we continue part 2 of our series entitled Introduction to the Small Business Administration, its Programs and its Services. Our special guests for part 2 of the series are Anthony Ruiz, Assistant District Director for 8A Business Development, Eva Lee Nye, Public Information Officer, and Donald C. Moraney, Managing Principal of the Wealth Zone, Inc. Donna's been a small business professional over 30 years, working here in the States and abroad in areas of business development. So he is our representative for the small business professional. Donna is also my co-host for this evening. Hello, Anthony.
Hello.
Eva.
Hello.
And Don, welcome. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to get started. Don, I think I'm going to throw to you for questions.
Oh,
to
yeah,
Eva?
sure. Eva, the website that for SBA is just chock full of information. I mean, there's just everything you can possibly know. Can you kind of tell us about what the website provides and how the average business person can steer through the website to get what they need?
Well, our Washington Metropolitan Area District Office covers Maryland, DC, and Virginia. So in Maryland, we cover Montgomery County and Prince George's County, and in Virginia, we cover the cities of Falls Church, Alexandria, and the counties of Arlington, Fairfax, and Loudoun. So it's a very large district area for us, but we enjoy going to events all over. The website, www.sba.gov/DC, has a lot of information. It has where our district office is, it has a calendar of events, and it has a way for you to sign up to join our email list.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, I think I'm going to ask Mr. Ruiz a question. Can you tell us what your position is and just give us a little bit about your role at SBA?
As the Assistant District Director, I'm in charge of the 8A program for the district office. We're one of 68 district offices around the country. However, we have 20% of the country's 8A portfolio. 20% of the country's 8A firms are in our portfolio.
Wow.
So it's an overwhelming task to service these companies. Number one is compliance, helping the firms stay in compliance with federal regulations governing the 8A program. The benefit to them, it assures that they'll be able to successfully complete the program during the 9-year life of an 8A program. Second is business development. We do that through a two-prong approach. One, servicing all the government agencies that are part of the Executive Department of Government, the executive branch, that participate in the 8A program. And we service them by responding to their offers, letters, where they are providing and extending an 8A contract to a firm. And secondly is helping companies to get 8A contracts. And the way we do that is primarily through our resource partners, helping them to get counseling in obtaining not only federal contracts, but even commercial contracts and even non-8A contracts. And that's very important to succeed in the 8A program. And then as well as financing, to be able to finance their government contracts. And then of course, the contracting function.
Right. When you say, oh, excuse me.
Anthony, can I just ask, can we just take a second? What is 8A? I mean, we hear the term all the time.
Yes.
What does it really mean?
All right. Under the Small Business Act, which was signed by President Nixon, there's paragraph 8A, which creates the establishment of the minority contracting program, hence 8A.
Okay.
But in addition, I do outreach through our resource partners and also through community partners like the Procurement Technical Assistance Program, which is a very effective program financed and funded by Defense Logistics Agency, the Pentagon, to help small businesses obtain federal contracts, military and non-military. And there's a PTAP office at George Mason University There's a PTAP office in DC government small business offices, and also at University of Maryland in our region. And so we work in concert with them to help companies get small contracts. And all of this is part of the education function and reaching out and helping them learn about the resources SBA has available and to help these companies succeed.
Wow. You mentioned earlier something about their non-8A programs. What are those programs?
These
What
are
the non-8A?
federal contracts that are not 8A. And there, over time, we teach and show and coach these companies how to pursue and obtain those contracts. And that's very critical because Congress wanted to structure the program such that these companies would not be totally dependent on this type of program because it's only 9 years. And so during the first 4 years, it's the years of transition. They can just take full advantage of the 8A program. And however, now the objective is to wean them off that dependence so that they learn to be competitive in the open economy and in government contracting, either federal, state, municipal, local level.
Right.
And so in year 5 of its 9-year program, they must require under federal regulations a business mix, meaning 15% of that company's revenues must be from non-8A contracts.
15%?
15. And thereafter, in year 6, it goes to 25, then to 35, 45, and 55. If a company does not reach and achieve that business mix, unfortunately, we are required under federal regulations to be in compliance is putting that company that does not achieve that business mix on a sole source restriction. And that means for potentially up to a year, that company cannot achieve sole source 8A contracts. They can pursue competitive 8A contracts. So it's very important for these companies early, during the transition years, to learn how to pursue non-8A contracts or commercial business, whereby the prime contractor could be 8A, and this client of ours that's an 8A firm is a sub, then we regard that as commercial business.
Okay, I got it. I've heard the term SBA Resource Partners. Eva, could you tell us a little bit about SBA Resource Partners? Exactly what that means? Who are they?
We have several. We have SCORE,
Okay.
and our resource network in this area is the Maryland Small Business Technology Development Center, and that's housed at the University of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
In Virginia, the counterpart is housed at George Mason University, and in DC, it's housed at Howard University. We also have the Women's Business Centers, and we have one in every county, and we also have the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. So once you're in the 8A program, you can go there and you can help, they can help you with your business.
How can someone can anybody get a copy of, is it a directory or?
Our resource guide.
It's the guide,
Yeah,
oh.
this is a copy of our resource guide. And when we go to events, we usually give these out, and our resource partners have copies of these. But if you are at home, you can download a copy of it from our website, sba.gov/DC. And if you go 2/4 of the way down, you'll see a PDF that you can download of our Washington Metropolitan Area District Office. But in addition, we also have the National Resource Guide in Spanish for our Spanish speakers. So our website is just full of online training. You can read articles about, I'm thinking about starting a business, but I'm not sure, and then all the steps that you might need, and then a calendar of events if you feel like you want to go out and talk to other people or attend one of our seminars. It's all right there on our website.
Well, I must say I'm getting emails almost every day, sometimes 3 and 4 times a day, of all the wonderful training that you guys are doing.
Well,
So
we're
I'm
happy to
really
hear
excited
that.
about that. Don?
Anthony, you made a point that you can be in government contracting, but you don't necessarily have to have a minority certification. there are non-certified programs that a company can qualify for to also be in government contract.
You are so right,
Is that
Don.
accurate?
Even, first let me say, even to be 8A, there is a category for socially disadvantaged non-minorities. It's at a higher threshold, a preponderance of evidence. And the website provides a criteria for that. And in my career, I have certified 12 individuals that were not under these minority categories. In addition to that, there's a woman's own small business certification, and that is open to all women, WOSB, and created by President Obama and under the Small Business Act. In addition to that, there's a service-disabled veteran-owned small business, and that's open to all service-disabled veterans. In addition to that, there's the just certifying one as, and it's not a formal certification per se, a small business, where you go into the CCR registration under www.sam.gov, and because there's a preponderance of government business set aside merely as small business set aside, and which is open to all small business owners.
Wow.
And so these are examples of the other types of certifications and government contracting resources available and opportunities available
That's great.
to non-minorities as well.
We're
Thank you,
gonna
Anthony.
we're gonna take a short station break, so hold that thought. We will be right back with our special guest, so don't touch that dial.
To order a DVD or VHS copy of this program or any program seen on Channel 10, call 571-749-1101.
Hi, thank you for watching Skills to Pay the Bills. For those of you who are just joining us, you're watching Skills to Pay the Bills and part 2 of our 2-part series on the Small Business Administration, its programs and its services with Anthony Ruiz, Assistant District Director for 8A Business Development, Eva Lee Nye, Public Information Officer, and Don Moraney, Managing Principal of the Wealth Zone, Inc., and also our co-host. I have a burning question. What is a first good step for a small business to get started in government contracting?
The SBA.gov website is a goldmine of information and resources. And there it provides a step-by-step guide for a company to find out and determine if they are qualified and how they could be qualified. It's very simple. Go to www.sba.gov, and then there's an icon, Getting Started in Government Contracting, to the right of the website on the home page. And then you navigate that, answering the questions. And that's where these individuals can also find out where they can obtain resources and more information on getting into government contracting.
Right. So when they answer the questions and they come to say, if it's 10 questions there, based on what they say, do they get some kind of response to say, you make a great business person, or hey?
It's more of a how. It's a how.
So it's a
It's
how.
a how
Okay.
guide.
Okay.
Yes.
So it doesn't really evaluate.
It's
whether
actually much easier than companies realize to get into government contracting, either directly or if there's a subcontractor. And for example, many companies get started with doing what's called simplified acquisitions. These are acquisitions that are less than $100,000. And so that means you do not have to do a formal proposal. It's like a purchase order type deal. And so there's no real contract negotiations and an RFP and an RFQ. And many companies just thrive on that business niche, simplified acquisitions. And there's also many good books written on how to break into government contracting. And all one has to do is Google government contracting, or go into like a LinkedIn and there to see the different groups. And there's several groups that specialize in government contracting, which lead them to publication resources and several organization seminars on how to get started in government contracting or how to get to the next level.
Then let me ask you, it's commonly thought that this thing called the GSA schedule is a mandatory mountain that you have to climb in order to be in government contracting. What is the GSA schedule, and what does it have to do with government contracting, if anything at all?
First of all, thank you for asking that. First of all, a company does not have to be GSA listed to get into government contracting. And GSA is like the government's catalog of what vendors are available to provide products and services, and it's a stipulated price. However, if a company independent of the GSA schedule quotes on a contract, it does not have to use the same price on the GSA schedule. In addition to that, just like the 8A program has predefined eligibility requirements, so does the GSA schedule. For example, you have to be in business for 2 years. Your revenues have to be in excess of $250,000. Why? The folks in GSA government want to assure themselves that these companies are prepared. They're ready really to deliver, and they have that capability and past performance. And so you don't have to be on the GSA to compete in government contracting, and you could do at a subcontractor or as a prime contractor. But in addition to that, you can do the GSA when you're eligible.
Okay, that's good to know.
Eva, I wanted to ask you, what is your role as public information officer? What is your day like? Starting at 5 a.m. when you get up in the morning. What is a day like for a public information officer?
I was just telling Anthony that every day I go in and I think that I have these tasks to do and deadlines to meet, but then once I get to work, everything changes. I get my information from, well, the way SBA is broken down is we have headquarters, and then we have regional offices, and then we have our district offices. So headquarters may give us some information, and then it's disseminated down to our 68 district offices. And I think one of the recent initiatives that I've handled are the Affordable Care Act and exporting, and that's one of the president's initiatives. So we are partnering with NOVA, Northern Virginia Community College, on a series of ACA question and answer sessions. So a lot of small businesses have a lot of questions about
A lot of questions.
the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
So this is where you might come to learn what the latest is about that.
So how do you get the word out to the small business community that you're having classes on the Affordable Care Act?
Well, we have a monthly newsletter, and you can sign up for that on our website, sba.gov/DC. And we also send out email flyers about our events.
Okay, so it behooves a business then to go on the SBA website /DC
Right.
and sign up for the newsletter, sign up to be able to get this information sent to them.
Right, but we also work with our resource partners, and we let them know about special events that are coming up and give them information too.
Yeah, but
So
every single business in this area should be at that ACA training,
Right.
and the vast majority of them probably don't even know about it. So we as business people have to take the initiative to go on the site and sign up so we can get the information from you.
Right.
Okay.
Well, you mentioned NOVA, that you're there working with them.
Yes.
So are you working with community colleges and universities all over the United States in that way?
Well, in our area, the
Okay.
Washington Metropolitan area.
Is it just
district
NOVA,
office.
or are there other?
No, we work with University of Maryland too.
You do working with Maryland. That's good.
Right, and Howard University.
Right, right. That's very good. The other question that I had, and this goes back to you, Anthony, is there a major difference, or is it one of the same, the 8A program and the small and disadvantaged program? Are they one of the same, or are they separate?
They are separate. The small
Yeah.
disadvantaged business, otherwise called SDB. Many individuals find out to their chagrin they're not eligible to be 8A. For example, they've been in business only for a year, or they just started business. They want to, and they go to agencies and contracting officers or OSTBUs tell them, well, if you're 8A, and so they think, gosh, I can't get any contract unless I'm 8A. That's not the truth. There's many ways to get a contract. SDB is one of them. Many contracts are issued to small disadvantaged businesses. Now, the eligibility requirements for an SDB are very similar to 8A. That is reserved for minorities. However, for 8A, you have to be 2 years in business, full-time, evidenced by your tax returns. SDB, you could start your business today and be SDB certified.
Really?
Is there a dollar amount of how much?
Yes, you could be a startup.
Really?
Startup.
No one knows
Nobody
that.
knows
And when
that.
you do your SA8A package, the application's that thick. SDB, self-certification. You go into the Central Contractor Registration, CCR, within sam.gov. You sign up, and then under CCR, and then you go to, and then there's a little box there. Are you small disadvantaged business? You check that box. You are now SDB. And then you go to ORCA within sam.gov and check there as well and register there as well. You are now self-certified as a small disadvantaged business, and that gives you the license to now pursue contracts that are awarded and set aside for small disadvantaged businesses.
Wow.
So when you check that box, is the government actually sending you emails and letting you know about advantages that are out there for you?
No,
Or
no,
how do you
you're not
how
going
do
to get
you
automatic.
go?
You have to research.
You have to go.
There's many
It's on us.
databases.
It's on
Also,
us. That's what you were
many
saying.
each government agency has historical data, and so you go to the historical data. And the key here, you have the plethora of government agencies. So the challenge and the key, but this exists in the private sector as well, is create your market niche. So if a company can only do small business set aside and SDB, or if it's a woman, they could do WSB, SDB, if she's a minority, and small business set aside. And so and if a veteran, they could look for veteran business. If that veteran is minority and he's a startup, he could do veteran, SDB, small business set aside.
And if they're a woman, they have that program.
Yes,
too, right?
exactly. And women, they have 4 if a woman minority. If she's military, small business disabled, she's got those 4. And so you look for agencies that have a strong history of awarding contracts to small businesses in those select categories, in their historical forecasts. Then you go to FedBizOps website. Now the big mistake companies make, in the prior session with our colleagues, you heard about NAICS codes. The big mistake people make when they go to the FedBizOps, they plug in their NAICS code. What they have done now is shotgun the market. No, they've already identified which select agencies, it might be 6 of them, are real strong in awarding contracts under those categories. Now, under FedBizOps, look up those agencies and look at their forecasts. And now you have the knowledge, and now go to those agencies and meet the folks there. Why? People do business with people they know.
No, that's
People
right.
do
That is
business
right.
with people they like, and people do business with people they trust.
Right.
It's a people world.
Yes.
They don't care about your certifications. They care about your capability, your experience, your past performance. Even it was as an employee for another company. I worked for Raytheon, and we did so much contracts for such agencies. And that's meaningful to them.
Right,
And so
it is.
you start with the OSTBU, program managers, and try to get even to the technical people. It's very hard to get to contracting officers when you're a newbie.
Listen, you guys have so much information that I know there's a segment of our population that just doesn't know about it. We've got to figure out a way to get you back on so you can start teaching and
We would love
educating,
to.
you know, that. Time flies when you're having fun. So we're out of time, and I just want to thank you both so much for coming. We're going to talk more, you know, to see about how we can do some more programming and get the information out.
We welcome that
You
opportunity.
know, we would like to do that. So folks, thanks so much for watching Skills to Pay the Bills. We'll see you real soon. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, or perhaps you would just like to be a guest and be interviewed by one of our hosts. We have 12 of them. So please email me at skillstorock@gmail.com. I'm so excited about what you guys are saying. So that's skillstorock@gmail.com. Thank you once again for watching. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.